Crown the head up, eyes looking down at the floor to put the dura mater under tension with the arms, maximum extension of the elbows. Get those fingertips close together and just have them touching each other without pressing into them. If you're pressing, that's too much pressure. If you were to put a piece of paper between your fingertips, it should easily be able to glide in and out. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Steven here with Team Euphoric, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to be your own therapist by demonstrating the top 5 ELDOA exercises for posture correction, and more specifically, I'm going to be teaching you how to correct hypolordosis in the lumbar spine. Before I get on with the exercises, I want to do a quick recap of what exactly hypolordosis is and why exactly you should care. Hypolordosis in the lumbar spine is when you have very limited extension or a flat lumbar spine. Ideally, you should have anywhere from 20 to 40 degrees of curvature in the lumbar spine. Whenever it falls below that range, that is when it is going to be considered dysfunctional, and that is when it is going to be classified as a hypolordotic curve. And if you don't address it, it can lead to things like low back pain, hip pain, knee pain, ankle pain, and foot pain. So you would want to address it immediately. And one of the ways in which we could address it would be to do some strengthening exercises for the muscles that are responsible for extension of the lumbar spine. We did those a couple days ago, and I'm going to include a link right up over here to the top 5 strengthening exercises for posture correction to correct hypolordosis in the lumbar spine. But in that video, we ended up covering the strengthening exercises for the longissimus muscle, the iliocostalis muscle, the transversal spinalis group, and also the quadratus lumborum, or the QL muscle. Once you've done those strengthening exercises, a terrific complement to those exercises would be to do some myofascial stretching exercises for the muscles that are responsible for flexion of the lumbar spine. And we did those a couple days ago. I'm going to include a link right up over here to the top 5 myofascial stretching exercises for posture correction to correct hypolordosis in the lumbar spine. Let's say you've done the stretching exercises and you've done the strengthening exercises and you're still not seeing the benefits that you would like to see. Well, a third problem that may arise is the nerves that send the signal to the muscles that are responsible for extension of the lumbar spine. You may have damage or compression to the nerve roots in those areas. So what we could do to mitigate that would be to do some ELDOA exercises, because whenever we do an ELDOA, the whole purpose of an ELDOA is to create space within a joint. So if we create space, we can improve the nerve function, and by improving the nerve function, we can improve the actual function of the muscles that are responsible for extension of the lumbar spine. So when we look at the muscles responsible for the extension of the lumbar spine, we have the longissimus muscle. That's going to be innervated by the dorsal rami of the lower cervical, thoracic, and lumbar spinal nerves. Then we have the iliocostalis muscle. Once again, the dorsal rami of the lower cervical and thoracic, and this time the upper lumbar spinal nerves. Then the transversal spinalis group is going to be innervated by the dorsal rami of the lower cervical and thoracic spine. And then finally, the quadratus lumborum muscle is going to be innervated by the lumbar plexus, and more specifically, the T12, L1, L2, and L3 nerve roots. So what we're going to be doing today is we are going to be focusing on the L2, L3 ELDOA, the L1, L2 ELDOA, the T18, T9 ELDOA, the T7, T8 ELDOA, and the T6, T7 ELDOA. But without further ado, here are the top 5 ELDOA exercises for posture correction to correct hypolordosis in the lumbar spine. For all of the ELDOA exercises that I'm going to be demonstrating for you today, we're going to be in a seated position. And the first ELDOA exercise for posture correction to correct hypolordosis of the lumbar spine is going to be the L2, L3 ELDOA. For the L2, L3 ELDOA, the first thing that we're going to do is abduct our femurs to 45 degrees. Then we want to go into maximum extension of the knees, dorsiflexion of ankles by pointing the toes toward our head, inversion of ankles by pointing the soles of our feet in toward the inside, and medial rotation of femurs by pointing the toes in toward the inside. Then we want retroversion of pelvis, flat lumbar, flat thoracic, chin tucked in, crown head up, eyes looking down at the floor to put the dura mater under tension with the arms, maximum extension of elbow and wrist, maximum external rotation of shoulders, flex shoulders to the level of the coronal plane, so biceps in line with the ear. We're going up with the palms, up with the crown of the head, and this is the L2, L3 ELDOA. Next, the second ELDOA exercise for posture correction to correct hypolordosis of the lumbar spine is going to be the L1, L2 ELDOA, and for it, very, very similar. For this one, we're going into 20 degrees of abduction, maximum extension of knees, dorsiflexion of ankle, inversion of ankle, medial rotation of femur, retroversion of pelvis, flat lumbar, flat thoracic, chin tucked in, crown the head up, eyes looking down at the floor to put the dura mater under tension with the arms, maximum extension of elbow and wrist, maximum external rotation of shoulders, flex shoulders to the level of coronal plane, so biceps in line with the ear. And for this one, we're going to abduct our shoulders to the level of the glenohumeral angle. Depending on your morphology, it's going to be anywhere from 90 to 135 degrees. For the average person, when your arms are fully extended and the palms are at your level, your forehead is slightly higher, that's going to be the glenohumeral angle. But we're nice and tall, so flat lumbar, flat thoracic, chin tucked in, crown head up, eyes looking down at the floor to put the dura mater under tension. Project the palms out at the level of the glenohumeral angle. We're going up with the crown of the head, pressing away with the palms, and this is the L1, L2 ELDOA. Next, the third ELDOA exercise for posture correction to correct hypolordosis of the lumbar spine is going to be the T8-T9 ELDOA. For the T8-T9 ELDOA, we want our heels in line with the ischial tuberosities. If you don't know where that is, make a fist. Roughly the width of one fist width is going to be the level of your ischial tuberosities. Then we want to go into maximum extension of hips and knees until our lumbar spine starts to round. As soon as our lumbar spine starts to round, we've gone too far. Then we want to create maximum myofascial tension in the lower extremity, and we're going to do that by creating a lemniscat. We're going to bring the big toe up, flatten the medial arch, external rotation of tibia, medial rotation of femurs, keep those knees nice and tucked in. We got retroversion of pelvis, flat lumbar, flat thoracic, chin tucked in, crown head up, eyes looking down at the floor, tip of the dura mater under tension with the arms, maximum extension of elbow and wrist, maximum external rotation of shoulders, flex shoulders to the level of coronal plane, so biceps in line with the ear. We're going up with the palms, up with the crown of the head, keeping the knees tucked in, and this is the T8-T9 ELDOA. Next, the fourth ELDOA exercise for posture correction to correct hypolordosis of the lumbar spine is going to be the T7-T8 ELDOA. For the T7-T8 ELDOA, it's essentially the same thing. The only difference is going to be the arm position. So we have our heels in line with ischial tuberosities. We're going to go ahead and flex the hips and knees, create a lemniscat, big toe up, flatten the medial arch, external rotation of tibia, medial rotation of femur, keep those knees nice and tucked in together, retroversion of pelvis, flat lumbar, flat thoracic, chin tucked in, crown and head up, eyes looking down at the floor, tip of the dura mater under tension with the arms, maximum extension of elbow and wrist, maximum external rotation of shoulders, flex shoulders to the level of coronal plane, so bicep in line with the ear. And for this one, bring the arms down to the level of the glenohumeral angle. We're going up with the palms, up with the crown of the head, and this is the T7-T8 ELDOA. Next, the fifth and final ELDOA exercise for posture correction to correct hypolordosis of the lumbar spine is going to be the T6-T7 ELDOA. For the T6-T7, we're going to go ahead and sit cross-legged. So let's go ahead and cross our legs. We got dorsiflexion of ankle, eversion of ankles. We got retroversion of pelvis. Drive those knees down toward the ground. Flat lumbar, flat thoracic, chin tucked in, crown and head up, eyes looking down at the floor to put the dura mater under tension with the arms. Maximum extension of the elbows. Get those fingertips close together and just have them touching each other without pressing into them. If you're pressing, that's too much pressure. If you were to put a piece of paper between your fingertips, it should easily be able to glide in and out. Then, from this position, we want to flex the shoulders to the level of the coronal plane, so biceps in line with the ear. We're going up with the fingertips, so maximum extension of elbows. So we're going up with the palms, up with the crown of the head, down with the knees, and this is the T6-T7 ELDOA. And there you have it. Those were the top 5 ELDOA exercises for posture correction to correct hyperlordosis in the lumbar spine. If you have hyperlordosis, or if you have issues with regard to low back pain, hip pain, knee pain, ankle pain, or foot pain, go ahead and give those exercises a try. And if you have given them a try, go ahead and drop your comments down in the comment section. Let me know what you guys thought of the exercises. And then in terms of the actual program, what you want to do, the strengthening exercises are going to come first. For the strengthening exercises, you want to do 3 sets of 50 repetitions, and that's 5-0, not 1-5. The reason we're going so high with the repetitions is because we're trying to elicit a postural change. And whenever we're trying to elicit a postural change, one of the most important things is going to be accumulating time under tension. And if we do the typical 8 to 12 bodybuilding repetition rep range, we're not going to be able to accumulate that time under tension. So 3 sets of 50 repetitions for each of the exercises. Then, once you've done the strengthening exercises, the next thing you're going to do is the myofascial stretching exercises. For the myofascial stretching exercises, you want to do 3 sets of a 30-second hold for each side of the stretch, and you want to do them every single day because, once again, we're trying to elicit a postural change. So if we only do the stretches once a week or once a month, we're not going to be able to accumulate that time under tension. So you want to make sure that you do them every single day, and that's 3 sets of 30-second holds every single day for the myofascial stretching exercises. Then, once you've done the myofascial stretching exercises, you're going to finish with the ELDOA exercises. For the ELDOAs, what you want to do is 1 set of a 60-second hold for each of the ELDOA exercises, and you want to make sure that you do 60 seconds from the time that you get into the final posture, not 60 seconds from the time that you get started. And once again, we do them every single day. But that's pretty much it in terms of the actual exercises. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask your questions down in the comment section, but that's pretty much it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to smash that like button so know to keep making these types of videos in the future. And if you're either new to the channel or haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, as I will be uploading new videos every single day. That's it for today's video. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you again tomorrow.